What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunchtime. The seating arrangement feels different. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I'm in the head of the class. I feel like I'm teaching. I'm in a different spot today. It's because Christian.
It's the passing of the torch, ladies and gentlemen.
Christian. This is Christian's final episode, ladies and gentlemen. So it will be me in the middle and Bryce to my left from every episode from here on out. So, how does it feel, man? Chris, we ain't gonna introduce ourselves first. Christian Hunt, last episode. How does it feel, man?
It feels pretty good. I was talking to David Ellison about this. Shout out to him, one of our executive producers. But it felt really good. I mean, especially from the 2 years that I've done this show, whether it's been behind the scenes or whether being on the camera. It's been really good, man. I think the show has developed very well in the 2 years. I think there's a lot of things that we've really done well and improved on. There's a lot of things to improve on overall with the show. But I think, again, it's, from where it was 2 years ago and what it is now, I think it's come a long way. And a lot of people have been a part of that, whether you go back to Jeff Matthews and Zach Pugh, who kind of got this thing rolling, and then, Trey Whiteout, when he was doing all his work behind the scenes with it the past few years, guys like him, Jamar Perkins, and then when it's us.
That's us, yeah.
We brought you on, kind of a wild card, and then we brought that guy down there on as well. So I think
Shout out to Reese Britt.
Shout out to Reese Britt, man, especially him doing it. So it's in a good spot. I'm glad you guys are taking over it next semester, but I still got one more.
Yeah,
I got one more left in the chamber.
What you mean? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This show. Yeah.
It's about to be good. But so this is our last episode together. Let's rank our season. Let's grade it. How you think we did this season, B-Rob? How you feeling? I think we had some good moments. I think we had a lot of trend-worthy moments if we posted on TikTok.
I think so too. Especially our intros, our cold open intros. I feel like those could definitely go viral if we could just put those out there. But man, I've enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys letting me come in and just be a part of it. I've loved every second of it, and it's fun. I normally don't have to come in on Thursdays, but I'm glad I do get to come in on Thursdays. So I really had fun with it, and I can't wait to continue on in the spring.
Yeah. So 1 through 10, what you give us?
I'm giving us an 11.
11? Ooh, we breaking the scale. Christian, what you got?
I would say overall, it's like an 8.
Okay.
I would say there's a lot of things we could improve on and whatnot. I think there's always room for improvement.
He just shot your answer all the way down.
No, I mean I in terms of what we did. In terms of what we did this semester, especially the set. I love the set. That's something that we kind of never really had a chance to do in the radio side. No, and that's not a shot to Doc V. Shout out to him for letting us use that. But, it never really felt like it was a sports show because, yes, we were talking sports, but we didn't have, a set or anything. This was awesome. This was an idea that we all had.
I think we got the second episode.
The second episode, yeah, which I think that's the one. Unless this one is blown out of the water.
Nah, this one's going to be amazing.
I think the second one would be the one I would put up for an award. That one was really awesome.
The one where he went off about you went off about parking and he went off about the Titans suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those.
There's definitely a couple we can submit.
Sure. 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I give us like an 8.5, 9. I think we had a lot of good moments, and for us to be as busy as we were throughout the season, and I could just imagine if we had every week to prepare, every week to have an episode and prepare. I feel like we would have been with 15 episodes in by now.
Yeah, if we got 8 episodes, which it surprised me considering, especially even coming into this season, we were going to have football supposedly on deck. So to me, I was like, man, if we get 6 or 7, that's going to be good. And we got 8, which is I think where we kind of wanted to be. Yeah. We could have gotten more, if. Again, we had some things. We had to work on hockey.
Yeah, okay. Well, technically, we did have 9 homecoming. If y'all check that out,
in the books we have 9. So I think that's a good number. If you get to about 9 or 10 a season, that's a good number.
That ain't bad. So I give us about 9. I just wish we had more time. Unfortunately, we only had a semester because somebody got to graduate. We could push it back. You could fail a class or something like that. Okay,
or he could just come back.
Yeah, we could just come back. But so last thing before we get into some Austin Peay football, guys, fantasy football. How we looking this week? How we looking for the season? I'm on the outside looking in. I can't lie. I'm on the outside. In every league I'm in, all 3, I'm 4-7, 6-6, something like that, 5-6. I know me and you fighting for last place, which I'm currently in right now. So
Yep.
life's good. I guess.
Let's see. Well, the league that I have the most invested in, I'm 2-9, and I was on a 9-game losing streak that I just broke this weekend. Even though I'm eliminated from the playoffs, my league that is in with my buddies, I'm 3-8, but in the playoffs because it's an 8-man playoff system. And
Is
so
that the one we in?
No, in our league that we're in together, it's a 6-man, and me and you have to win out to even have a chance. So
And we played the last week of the season.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that.
yeah,
I need
so
that for
I'm
my
getting some
personal.
guys. I'm getting some guys healthy back. Mike Evans might be back this week, so
Hopefully.
we'll see what happens.
B-Rock. Oh, he just checked his record.
Listen, the reason why I don't play fantasy is because normally I'll pay attention the first couple weeks, and then I just won't pay attention to it. Because normally I'm busy on Sundays with football. This should be my first year not having football. Like college playing football, I was actually able to. I can sit down and watch games on Sunday now and actually pay attention. But of course, after week 3, I stopped paying attention because I started losing.
Because you don't have anything invested in it.
Yeah, there's no money.
When
No
you-
money invested in it,
when you-
but it was we literally threw the league together. I think the night before the first game.
It'd
So
be like that.
Yeah.
we just wanted to have something.
What's your record, though, bro?
I
You
think-
doing all this chit-chat. What's the record? I ain't
I'm
asked for no explanation.
I'm 1-10.
Ouch. Oh, no.
Listen,
Austin Peay football.
Listen. I started out 1-0. I'm on a 10-game losing streak.
That's what I did in my big money league. Is I started off 1-0. I think I used up all my magic week 1 because I had like 2. Yeah, I had 2 leagues in which I had like miraculous comebacks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
remember that. I
understand,
remember
man. It's like
Because you don't check
I'm playing Jeremiah Oatsfall this week. The man auto drafted his whole team.
That's the way it goes.
He's 8-3.
That's the way it goes. My buddy who auto
1
drafted.
10 is nasty.
My buddy auto drafted in our league, and he's 10-1, and I'm playing him this week in the playoffs. And he auto drafted his entire team. That's the way it goes. Because you don't
When you
have,
don't try.
I did
you
too
don't
much
have
thinking.
You don't have the ability to overthink it. Like you're not like
I had a
oh.
whole diagram of like 1,000 players pulled up.
No,
like,
exactly.
this list
So
from
you
top to
overthink
bottom,
it.
From
That's-
2023, 2024. Which ones should have been the best players drafted? Like I had everything pulled up, man. I was ready to go.
Again, you overthink it.
I drafted of course I drafted McCaffrey first overall.
I told y'all not to do that. I literally told y'all. But sucks for you.
Yeah, that's
And
why
I'll
I don't
see
play
you-
fantasy.
I'll see you in the last week of the season.
You know what
'cause-
though? I might try to turn it around these last couple weeks. So
For what?
I don't know.
You're 1-10. There's nothing to turn around.
There's nothing to turn around.
I might try to get a win this week.
But we know who needs to turn it around. Austin Peay football.
Say,
man.
yeah, I was gonna say, just say it.
Yeah, Austin Peay football. So we had a tough overtime loss to EKU, Eastern Kentucky University, 30-27. This game went into overtime. We almost won the game. We held them to like the 1 yard line, 2 yard line with like 10 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. They end up, what was it, push tush? They got a push tush in.
they were able to push it in at the last second.
Yep. So that was a tough L. We had Austin Smith, 23-35, 239, 2 tutties. And lately, he hasn't been running the ball very well. He has 5 carries for 6 yards. Lavelle Wright just coming back from injury. He had 8 carries for 16 yards, 2 a pop. Jaden Barnes had a big night, or big afternoon, 8 receptions, a $131 and a tutty. And he had him a carry for 14 yards. Ramon Copeland. He had 6 catches, 41. The defense had 2 turnovers. So, guys, what's the deal, man? We lost another one, our 4th straight loss at home. What's the deal? You know, and we'll give you the credit, sir. So
Okay.
you start off.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you the stat that is indicative of why we lost this game. All right. The big one is you're up 24-7.5.
Yep.
All right. That can't happen. You're up 24-7.5 and you lose the game. I know it's college football. I know offense is a little more prevalent, but you cannot blow back. I mean, this is back-to-back home games that they've blown double-digit leads at half. But the reason I think that this happened is 18 carries for 49 yards as a team. 2.1 or 2.7 yards a carry, the longest being the Jaden Barnes 14-yard carry with 1 touchdown. I mean, when you got to salt things away, when you're up big in the second half, you got to be able to run the ball because you got to be able to control the clock. Not to say you want to be unaggressive. You still want to be aggressive and take shots down the field. But 49 yards in a Division I college, any division, I don't care if it's NAIA, D3, D2. I don't care.
JUCO.
I don't care what level it is. You run for 49 yards in a game, most likely you're not going to win.
Yeah.
It's a tale of two halves, definitely for sure. And you don't score a point in the third or the fourth, until you get to overtime. You could kick a field goal, I believe, on your first possession.
Yeah.
But man, like I said, like they had a 95% chance of winning the game at halftime, according to ESPN. And right in the middle of the fourth quarter, they had a 90% chance to win the game. All you got to do is close it out. But y'all know why I think they lost, though.
Say it.
It's because everybody knows. I was told when I first got here to Austin Peay, when I took the campus tour,
Put them on game.
do not touch the forbidden rocks in the middle of campus. The big circle rocks, it has the big red AP logo in the rocks. Don't touch them. If you don't touch them, if you touch them, apparently you don't graduate or something like that. That's what I've been told. I don't know. But every week, Austin Peay comes out with a thread pick, whatever they're wearing this week, and the photos they took this week were on top of the rocks.
Standing
right on top of the rocks.
Business on them rocks.
Like posting numerous photos, just like whatever. I don't know what the point with that. I get it, but people started commenting on it. I commented on it.
What you say? I didn't know you commented on it.
Yeah, I was just like, oh no, the forbidden rocks. Other teammates were like, the rocks. They took all the posts down that night.
Oh, but we got a video of it. We got photos.
I took a screenshot, and it should be up right now. But
That's the power of editing, bro.
but man, like I know we also talked about, like you say here, they're 3 for 12 on third downs, and most of those third downs were 3 and outs, and other times where they're just bad on first down. There was one drive where they were 1st and 25, coming off the sideline. I think you had 2 or 3 false starts back to back. Like those are just drive killers. When you set yourself behind the chains, it's hard to stay on track.
And this is not, we're not on the road doing this. We're doing this in our own home stadium.
And it's just like, I think there's just a lot of things like that they're not doing right within their program. Like you got players, man, you're not supposed to wear I get it, like it's college football. Players wear their pants above their knees, but you got some players that are wearing them up like above their thighs and stuff. Man, you got players having their back plates hanging out, T-shirts hanging down below.
Can you not do that, or just this not? This is not a good look.
Technically, according to the referees, you're not supposed to have your back plate out, according to the referees. But either way, man, you just got like players that are just like kind of just doing their own thing. You know, like there's no accountability held for because back
he coming like me.
I'm just like just me being in college for 5 years, man, just seeing what a program's supposed to be ran like and what it's supposed to look like. You got players that are just doing their own thing, and I just feel like that's a big factor, Maybe the culture, I don't know what the culture's like in the locker room. I'm not in there anymore, so I have no idea. But, like I said, you got to be able to close the games out.
Well, it's back-to-back home games that you've had a double-digit lead that you're blown. And, that can't happen at any level. But when you're letting it happen at home, how can you expect these fans to come out and support your team when you've won one game at home this season?
We had a player
and we played Alabama A&M when we won that home game.
You had a player spit in the opposing team's face for a penalty.
Yep.
After EKU scored a touchdown, we had one of our players spit in somebody else's face.
And you can't do that.
Yeah. And
Jaden Barnes had another personal foul for basically, I don't know if he was punching, but he after the play was over,
yeah.
Jaden Barnes is a great player. He's been the light of this offense all year long, and player, and you just can't do that. You hurt yourself and you put yourself in a bad spot to be successful.
Yeah, we be self-inflicting ourselves, honestly. When you watch when we play the game, we're not a bad team. It be the extra stuff. It be like you said, having just unnecessary penalties, offensive line not being cohesive enough. Aggressiveness on the sidelines after plays. We seen Jaden Barnes do that 2 or 3 times. If I'm not mistaken, he got suspended for a game.
He got thrown out of one of the games. I can't remember which game it was.
Yeah,
he got ejected for having 2 personal fouls in a game.
He got ejected for a game. Then on top of that, every team deals with injury. So it's just Lavelle Wright was gone for about 4 games. And then he was on the stretch where he was running 80, 90 yards a game. So then we lost a running back. And then now Austin Smith finally got on track, and we didn't have a running game. So it's just like we've never just had anything go our way when it's not about the game. When we're in between the lines and playing the game right, we do everything, according to plan, and we be ahead most times. But it's when those extra little things go out the way, it's when we lose our way. So with that loss, that loss really hurt us when it comes to standings, right? We had a chance to put EKU down because we were in the middle of the pack 5th We were the 5th seed. So we went to 3-4 before that game. Now we're 3-5 in the conference. How does this loss affect, us for the future and against UT Chat?
I mean, the big thing is you want to finish the season out with a win. I mean, obviously now we have no chance of getting a 500 or better record. We're going to finish at best 5-7 on the season. I mean, you want to win, especially against an in-state rival, in Chattanooga. This is the team that put us out in the playoffs last year at home.
I can't believe that.
You kind of want a little. Yeah, not that there's a lot of guys left on this team that were part of that, but you still want to, say, hey, that's a little bit of a get-back situation. But, I mean, you can still pull something out of this season, right? I mean, you can still pull something that Coach Ferris can propel his program, next year and have some positives to build on. But the big thing for me, man, is just win at home. You've won one home game all season. D2? I mean, it's
Alabama A&M?
No, I mean they're FCS, they're HBCU, but they're FCS. But I mean, at the same time, it's like that's like any football coach's like day one. Like you say, I don't care if we lose every game on the road, we're going to win every game at home. That's part of, like you said, like the culture you build is you defend your own home. And right now, I mean, you've won one game on the season at home. That would be a great way, I think, for Coach Ferris to finish the year, is to win a home game.
Yeah, a real home game.
You got to be able to send the seniors out on a high note, man. Like I said, this is the team that put us out last year, and so like you said, there's still some guys on the team that were a part of that playoff loss last year and felt that hurt, because there was a lot of potential for that team last year to make a run in the playoffs. Man,
y'all hurt me.
We just didn't come out and
what happened? I want to know.
Man, I just feel
don't give me no political PR answer. No, at the podium. I mean, don't give me that. Don't give me no press conference.
For someone on the outside who watched it, like, because we were producing the board side of that game, but as someone from the outside, it was just a defensive struggle.
Yeah,
no one could do anything offensively, and they just happened to make one play. I mean, and we had a couple things, like we had the Corey Chapman interception that he came out of the end zone with, and it got stripped and recovered by Chattanooga. So I mean, that's a big swinging play right there.
I feel like that was really the momentum. I wouldn't say the momentum changer, but that really killed us.
Yeah, because
I don't know what it was. There just was a different feeling that week, like all throughout practice and meetings. Like it was a little different. It felt like, I mean, it was playoff football, but the intensity level wasn't really. It just felt a little different, Like you could feel it in the coaches' demeanors,
like nervousness or something.
I couldn't really tell, man. I don't really know. It just felt a little different, and I kind of thought something was off that week, But I really didn't pay no attention to it until after the game was over, And it's just kind of like things that it's hard, because I feel like that team went on a 9-game winning streak last year, 9-game winning streak, and had a lot of momentum going into the playoffs, and it just didn't go our way. And like you said, that Corey Chapman pick where he came out of the end zone. I mean, we're taught you catch the ball in the end zone unless you got a clear path, just take a knee. But him wanting to make a play, and him being a competitor, the competitor that he is, he wanted to try to make a play, and it just didn't work, didn't go in our favor. And I don't think they even scored a point the whole second half until the game-winning field goal at the end.
Yeah. And
which is, like, kudos, shout-outs to our defense in the second half. And our offense, we came out and scored. We tied it up. I think we scored 21 unanswered points in the second half or something along those lines. And, we just kind of waited too late to get going, and it is what it is. But, I feel like this is a big opportunity for them to be able to send the guys out on a great note, like you said, and win at home, because they haven't done that this year against a quality team. I don't know if UT Chat is competing for a playoff spot right now.
A third. I mean, but we can get into all of that. So we have a special interview with Kendall Ball that we're going to get to first before we dive deeply into the Chattanooga game that we have this upcoming week. So we're going to throw it to Kendall, and then we'll come right back with the analysis of the UT Chat game.
Hey, welcome to this Crunchtime interview. I'm Kendall Ball, and today we have a special guest, my teammate, Tori Hamilton.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So, the first set of questions, we're going to get to know you a little bit, ask, where you're from, where you came from, and, what brought you to Austin Peay?
Well, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I came to Austin Peay. This is my only D1 college offer here. I was a walk-on, earned a scholarship, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you say you came as a walk-on and you earned a scholarship. Tell me how it was to receive the news that you were put on scholarship.
Well, it happened the day before it was announced. Coach Ferris called me to his office. He told me he was going to put me on scholarship. He told me not to tell anybody. And then the next day, that's when he announced it to everybody. And it was just so surreal. Like, it was out of nowhere, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it. I knew I was having a good fall camp and stuff, but I never really expected it. I only saw that on TV and movies and stuff. So yeah, it was a big surprise, but I was really happy about it. So.
Yeah, it was a really exciting moment for everybody. It was great, seeing you get that honor. So who was the first person that you told when you first got the news?
Well, Coach Ferris said I couldn't tell anybody till the next day, so I couldn't tell anybody at the time. But after he announced it to the whole team, I called my mom and my dad, and that was the first person I told. And then I told my brother and stuff, and that was pretty much it. My coaches after that. My coaches called me though because they knew before because of what they posted on Twitter, but they called me, and yeah, my parents was first to know.
So what was their reaction when they got the news, your family?
They were just as surprised as me. My dad was holding back tears because I wasn't expected to go D1 at all, and getting a scholarship was a big deal. So, and my mom was happy for me. My brother was happy and stuff. It was great for everybody, and I was trying not to cry the whole time, but yeah, that was.
So you came from Knox Catholic, that's kind of a prestigious school when it talks to high school football in Tennessee. How was playing for a program like that helped you transition into the college game?
I think it was really good. The academics was there. It's really good, and we played in a really hard league. So I think it prepared me to play against play D1 bigger teams. All the teams we played had Division I offers and stuff, and they were top 10 in the state as teams and stuff. I think it just prepared me to play against people on a higher level, and I think it helped me a lot, to prepare for college.
So how would you say your freshman year has been going? Everybody has their expectations going into freshman year. What it'd be like? So has it met your expectations, or are things different than what you thought?
Yeah, I would say everything's met my expectation. I mean, it's definitely harder than high school. It feels different. It's faster. I think I've been doing well so far my freshman year. I've gotten to play more than most freshmen. I'm blessed because of that. But I've got to get some good experience, and college is what I expected. It's been hard, but I knew that coming in. But yeah, it's been good.
So you had your first game against the Power 4 team in Louisville. Tell me how that experience was, getting your first taste of college against such a huge team.
Really, it just felt like I was just playing football. It didn't feel like much of a big difference. It just felt like I was out there. I mean, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's so different. Like when you're sitting in the stands, but when you're out there, it just feels like you're playing football. It's just you know what to do. It's just natural. So it just felt like I was out there playing football. Nothing too different.
So how would you model your game after, what's an NFL or maybe even a college player that you look up to when it comes to how you play the game or their style of play?
Definitely Aaron Donald. I mean, he's around my height because I'm undersized. I can't pass rush as well as he can, but I try to play like him, and as I get older, I kind of want to be like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
So what do you look forward to for, maybe the rest of your college career, or something you look to get better at for next year?
Definitely pass rush. That's one of my weakest things, I just wish to get better at that. I look forward to just playing more, having more experience, traveling more. College was the first time I went on a plane ride, so just having new experiences, meeting new people, but yeah.
All right, guys, that'll be it for today's interview. I want to thank my guest, Tori Hamilton, for coming on. I'm Kendall Ball, and back to you guys.
Well, great job, Kendall. He's been working really hard, as well as Abby and AJ, as you will hear from them later on in another interview. They have been working really hard. Being a student athlete is extremely hard, Bryce. You can attest to that, having to go on the road for some games, miss some classes, crunch assignments in and get them in. So shout out to Kendall, Abby, and AJ, and everybody, and Ellis as well. for getting these interviews done. They really add some flair to the show. This is the first time we've ever done that too. So it was adjustment for us trying to schedule those times in, because working with athletes, y'all schedule pretty wicked, man. Y'all
Yeah,
schedule
it's
pretty
basically a full-time job.
wicked. Yeah,
Like I would say.
y'all schedule pretty wicked. But we have the last game of the season, boys. Last game of the season, Austin Peay against the University of Chattanooga. Now, before we break it down, grade the season, right? So I'm going to get my little grade out the way. I think I'm going to give us a C-. I'm going to give us a C-. I want to break down the season because this is the last game, last episode for us. You know, why not go on the hoorah? But I'm going to give us a C- because I feel like there was a lot of games that we should have won. Easily could have been, what's a 12-game season? Easily could have been 9-3. Easily. Literally, let's say a handful, 12 plays. 12 plays got us from potentially, okay, we 4-7. So 4-7, 12 plays could have easily made us 9-3.
I would say,
Or
I mean,
8-3.
yeah, I mean, depending on what happens this game, I
Yeah.
mean, that's football. I mean, you can really like boil your season down to about 20 plays, and you play 12 games a year. You can really boil it down to about 20 plays that really make or break your season, right? Sometimes it's a 50-50 ball that goes your way. Sometimes it's, hey, your guy makes a mistake in a crucial moment, or hey, sometimes the coach makes a bad decision in the moment. I would say, depending on this game, I'm either with you as a C- as the front end, like if we win, or it's a D+ on the back end. And here's the reason why: if we lose, it's a D for me, is because you won the games that you're really supposed to win, right? You beat Alabama A&M. Again, they're
Georgia.
an HBCU team, that you should probably win most of the time. Utah Tech, West Georgia, right? You did surprise North Alabama, so I think you should deserve some credit there. But you beat the teams that you really should have beaten, but you've also lost to some teams you shouldn't have, like Southern Utah. I feel like they should have beat, and then you've also blown
SIU.
Yeah, you've blown a lot of games here at home. That you had double digit wins. You had potentially double digit wins against teams of late. And you've only won one game at home, so I would say for that, it's going to be a D for me. If they lose, if they win, I'd be willing to bump them up to a C-, just because hey, it's a step in the right direction, and there's a lot of things they can improve on. But I would say, based on my pick'em later, which we'll get into later, for now I'm going to give it a D.
Yep.
Like a flat D, like no D-.
I'll do D+.
D+? Okay.
I
little
think
positivity.
I'm along kind of the lines where you are, the C-ish, the D. Like it depends on how this game goes, whether or not it drops to a D
No,
or stays
right
at a
now,
C.
in this moment.
Oh, right now,
In this
Well,
moment.
all right. I think I'm gonna go C- right now.
Okay, C-.
Because you got to take into factor too, brand new coach, brand new coaching staff, whole new roster. I think it's about maybe if you do the math, it's probably like a 75% new roster. Maybe I might be low balling. Like there's probably more new guys than just that, but. It's just like I had them winning. My win total for them this year was actually four wins this year.
Okay.
So they have a chance to pass that this week against UTC, which is a team that we don't like too much. So we've had some bad blow with over the past couple of years, and but like you said, man, like there's been some a lot of highs, but a little more lows and than highs. But like you said, we've seen flashes of great football being played by this team, and it's just like taking the next step to be able to sustain that. Maybe do it the next game. Do it for all 4 quarters, and then carry that into spring and the summer the next year. Yeah. Are they going to be able to do that? But you also got to take into account is who the players that are leaving. Because I know inside source, there might be a lot of change this offseason.
But that usually happens. I mean, especially, take a look at what our guy in Colorado and Coach Prime.
Hey man, shout out to Uncle and them.
He
Shout
brought
out to
in
Uncle Big Cuz.
he brought in a just mass of portal players.
With like
right?
90, I heard.
Right, first year, and then he, second wave, he brought in about 50. So there's going to be a lot of change
And possibly in the Big 12 championship. Get that right.
So
tied for first in the conference.
So I think
no,
I'm with you. I'm with you, but I'm saying like I'm with you in terms of like players are going to come and go, right? Especially coach, still trying to develop his culture, his program. So there's some guys, he brings in. He's like, okay, I like these guys. There's some guys he probably brought in. He's like, I'm not a huge fan of this player. Whether culture, player, whatever the case may be. So it's not necessarily a bad thing because we've seen coaches do this. I mean, take a look at what Coach Cignetti's done in Indiana, right? He brought in a ton of players from the portal, gave them NIL money, and now they're in a chance to be in the college football playoff.
They still undefeated, right?
Undefeated.
Yep.
I think they got Ohio State this weekend.
Yep. Big game. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I'm not, naive to think that there's not going to be a lot of players. I mean, especially a guy like Jaden Barnes, who I think some teams are going to try to pick. Maybe some G5 or maybe some, lower tier Power 4 teams might try to pick him off. And that's just the reality of college football nowadays.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got a tough game on our hands.
And talking about one more thing, too, for ET Chat is they had a tough start to their season.
They had a really tough start. I mean,
talk about a tough 3-game stretch.
Tennessee, Georgia State, and then who's number one in their conference is Mercer.
Georgia State, a team that beat Vanderbilt.
Yep. I think Chat's probably out of the playoffs. I don't think the SoCon's going to get an at-bid team. They're probably just going to get the team that wins, which will be Mercer. So I think their playoff hopes are pretty much slim to none because, they're third right now. But, they're a team that's looking at it like, hey, they have a winning record. They had a really good stretch there. They won 5 straight, and then they've kind of, gone 2-2 in their last 4 games. So they had a good stretch, in their season. But they're looking at trying to get a road win here in Clarksville to finish out their season with a winning record. They'll have a winning record no matter what, or at least at worst 500.
They'll be what they call it, sub 500, or what they call it?
Their conference?
Yeah. No, because they in third right now.
SoCon?
Yeah. That's it, SoCon. Yeah. So they lost to WCU and Sanford, and WCU is second right now, and those two teams play each other for the last week of the season. So, the possibility ain't zero.
It's not zero, but it's pretty – because, again, like most of the times our conference, the SoCon, they don't get would be an at-large bid, which is like a team that, like for the college football playoffs, they didn't win their conference, but they're still deserving to get into the playoff. The same thing with the FCS playoffs, except it's 24 teams with the FCS playoffs, but you have a lot of teams like North Dakota State, South Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota, all those schools, those Midwest schools, they get like 4 or 5 teams because, their conference is like the elite of the elite. So there's usually about 2 conferences that eat up all the at-large bids. So, it's not zero, but it's pretty. It's
probably like 10, 15%.
There'd have to be a lot of things happen for them to get in the playoffs, including like you probably need Western Carolina to lose at this point.
Lose by 32 or something like that. They need to be like a blowout.
I think it's going to be a great in-state battle rivalry game. Their fans travel well too. We saw that in the playoff game last year too. So, and let me tell you right now, I feel like it was their Super Bowl last year when they beat us here. That's how they were acting. So
it seemed like
this is going to be I feel like this is going to be a chippy game. Because if I know some of the guys in the locker room at Austin Peay right now, they're going to be like, taking some of this a little extra personal and trying to rant some guys up. Like, guys, listen, this is the team that knocked us out of the playoffs last year. And they had no business doing that. So I feel like this game's going to be really chippy. I think a lot of flags might be thrown this game.
But my thing is, we have to control, be poised.
Yeah.
Our attitude, like we just mentioned right before, going against EKU, and just overall in the season, we're undisciplined. We have an undisciplined attitude, and that's an easy way for us to lose a game. We could simply lose the game off being undisciplined just because we can't control our attitude. I know me. I'm always speak back to my former experience. I ain't D1 or nothing, but, I'm a chippy player. I wear my heart on my sleeve when I play because I love the game. And I know, if we're going to talk trash, if you get a bucket on me, like I tell you, I ain't never played a day of football, pee-wee, high school, middle school. I ain't never played football in my life, but I'm a hooper at the end of the day. I love to talk. So chippiness get to me. It's been times where I done got into some scuffles. I done caught an elbow to the jaw. My jaw been swole for 3 days. Or I done caught one to the neck. I done caught some shots. So I know, you got to hold your attitude in big games because this may not lead to, a championship, not a championship bid, but a playoff bid or anything. But this is a culture shift if we get this game.
You want to send the team out on a great note. And this is going to set the tone for the spring. And then so forth. So you want to do everything you can to win this game.
Yeah. We 1-3 all time against Chat. We lost last year 21-24. And the 2 years before that, the first 2 years, we got blown throughout the water.
So we beat them in 21 in third place. So that was actually a big time win.
No home win.
Yeah, but like I said, it's going to be, it's either way. You want both teams to finish out of the win, but I mean, especially on the side of Chattanooga, I mean, you got the Missouri Valley Conference. Their conference is going to put a lot of teams in the playoffs. The Patriot League, they're going to put a lot of teams in the conference. So the Pioneer League's another one that they've got a lot of teams in there that could potentially. So it's
It's tough.
It's tough. I mean, Mercer's already locked their conference down. I mean, you take a look at the playoffs.
They're undefeated
right?
in the conference, I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
they've already locked their conference down. Right now, Abilene has already locked down the UAC, so they're in. Montana State's already locked down the Big Sky, so they're in. Richmond's already locked down the CAA, so they're in. And then the Southland's already locked down by Incarnate Word. So, which, fun fact, is where Cam Ward used to play.
For real?
Mm-hmm. Incarnate Word. And then he transferred to Washington State
yeah.
and then Miami. So that's where he got his start.
Look at you.
I remember watching film on him from Incarnate Word because I remember they were a team in 19 that we were potentially looking at maybe facing us in the playoffs. And, I mean, I remember us talking about him, and everyone said that guy is a massive problem.
Yeah, no,
He is a massive problem.
shout out to the big bro Cam Ward. Shout out for real. But just want to tell y'all this. We gave up 24 first downs the last time we played UTC, and we allowed a defensive touchdown, and they were 3-3 in terms of red zone percentages. I mean, we just, like I said, it was a defensive game, but it's the small details that we lost. And right before we go into my favorite sport, how can we change the narrative of losing at home in general this season? But not only that, losing at home to a rival and just going into next season in the right direction. How can we make that shift with this game?
Just in the immortal words of the great Al Davis, late great Al Davis, just win, baby. Hey, winning cures a lot of things.
Winning solves a lot of problems.
Exactly.
You want more fans to come to the game?
Win.
You want more money from donors? You got to win the game.
You want a better looking girlfriend? Win.
I mean,
It's as simple as that, man.
how
Hey,
that work? That work out in your favor?
I think so.
Out of all the wins you had, what was your favorite win? Because this end of the season.
Out of last year or my entire 5 years that I've been here?
Let's do last year.
Last year?
Last year was a special year.
I say Central Arkansas. Because I had been here for 5 years and we had not beaten them ever since I've been here. And it was a gritty win. And I think that game is what locked up our undisputed championship.
Yep.
So, and we beat them at home too. So that was something that was really, really special. I got in that game. They took away a pass from me, but you know what? That's
It took away a pass from you?
Yep, different story for a different day. The ref didn't know what they were doing. Took a touchdown away from me, but it's all good. That's a different story for a different day. But I would say Central Arkansas because I think we were 0-3 against them the past 5 years, and we finally got that win last year.
So what you saying is you got a girlfriend after that game? Ain't that how it correlate? Did you just say that? Big win, you get girlfriend?
Well, I'm saying like not after every game, but like if you have a really good season, you go conference championship, you win. You go to
nobody
playoffs.
wants to date a guy on a 0-9 team or something like that. So.
Hey, sometimes you got some real.
You got some real ones out there,
bro. You got some real ones.
Yeah, but like it's kind of the same thing. Coach Prime says, "Hey, look good, play good, feel good." Hey, when you win, the food tastes better.
That's right.
Your girl looks better.
The week goes faster.
The week goes by faster. Everything's better.
Yeah, that's how it be. But everybody can't win.
No.
Everybody can't win, and that's just the world we live in. But y'all know what time it is, boys. It's basketball time. So we got roughly about 15 minutes left. So it was a quick weekend for the basketball team for Austin Peay. The women's had a road trip, 2-game road trip. They went 1-1. They took down Indiana State. The score was, make sure I got that right for y'all.
Was this their first win?
Yeah, it was their first win. So they lost. Yeah, let me stop right there. That was their first win. I don't want to get into a loss ASAP right after that. That's kind of disrespectful to them. So it was a good game. They blew them out 74-56. They ended up somehow a miraculous fourth quarter. And shout out to Samaya Wyatt. She had 26 points, 8 rebounds, a steal and a block, only missed 4 shots. 11 of 15 from the field. ASUN Freshman of the Week and Newcomer of the Week. So shout out to Samaya Wyatt for getting that dub. So, and then Brianna Rivera, the sharpshooter that we have, she's 3 of 7 from 3-point range. She That's the only thing she shoots, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch her Lady Gov games, she doesn't shoot anything outside of a free throw and a three-point basket. Then Abby Cater, Lanaya Foster rounded it out with 11 points. And Lanaya Foster, former ASUN Freshman of the Year, she filled the stat sheet up again. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Talk about a game. But yeah, that second half that we had against the Sycamores, 35-18. We outscored them 35-18. So we finally got the offense going. Like we said, what was that, last week that we had an episode? We struggled on offense. We were 0-3. Vandy put us down. Bethel put us down. The only good game we had was against St. Mary, 37th Wood, whatever it was. No disrespect to St. Mary and them schools, no disrespect. But the problem was, guys, they had 17 turnovers. That's not good at all.
What do you think? Do you think that's from trying to force something too much, being careless with the basketball, or trying to pass too much, not passing enough? Why do you think that they're having problems with turnovers?
I mean, hesitation. I mean, when you don't shoot a lot of threes, we were 5-17 from three-point range. When you don't shoot a lot of threes and make a lot of threes, you lack confidence. And when you lack confidence, then you start to drive into a crowd. And now it's 3 people around you. Next thing you know, the ball going to the other side. So, I mean, it's just a tough way to end it out. But then on Sunday, we took a tough loss. It was a back-and-forth game against Miami. What was it, Miami of Ohio? How you say that?
Miami of Ohio.
So, Miami of Ohio, 59-52, 7-point game. It was a back-and-forth game the entire time. And we just couldn't finish out strong in the fourth quarter. We just fell short. Samaya Wyatt had 16. Lanaya Foster had 15. Only 2 players to score in double digits for that game. But this is the most absurd stat that I've seen in a basketball game in a very long time. 27 turnovers.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And it's not like that we have a very fast-paced offense that's like, okay, we're just running and gunning the whole time. We're up and down the court, and sometimes, the ball bounces the wrong way and whatnot. No, we are a very slow-paced offense.
Yep.
It's like one of those things where it's like, how do you have this many turnovers when you're not a high tempo? It's like kind of like, okay.
It contradicts itself.
It's like it shouldn't happen this way. But, yeah, I mean, and then you look at the score and you go, okay, we lost by 7 points. Yep. If you cut that in half, it's still not good.
Yeah, but we should win by 7 points if we cut it in
But
half.
you probably win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's horrendous.
Turnovers are never good. Like it's, sometimes it ruins momentum, man. Like you said, this one, if you look just from looking off the stat, I didn't watch the game. From just looking off the paper, I would say that's the main reason why they lost the game.
No, of course.
27 turnovers, man. Like just like you said, you cut that in half, man. That might be 10 points. You cut that in half. That the other team's not scoring, whatever it may be, But so I feel like, I didn't really watch the game. Like now that football's wrapping up, I might be able to get to some of the games.
Yeah, next year when we talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I'll be able to give you a little more insight.
That's going to be, but you got baseball too to talk about next.
Baseball,
baseball gonna be
Coach
good.
Fanning, I love Coach Fanning.
Yeah,
bang,
and
bang.
softball. No, you didn't.
That's what he said.
I know,
Bang bang.
bro. It's hard sitting next to
I'm
you.
bring my air horn when the spring.
No, don't do that. No, don't do that. You're gonna hurt Paige in a minute.
I'm just gonna do it and I'll tell you one day.
Paige won't be. Hey, shout out to Paige as
Oh,
well.
yeah, shout out to
It's not
Paige.
just my last episode, guys. It's Paige's
Paige.
last episode of TD. I know she's probably excited about that. But so shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to Paige.
So yeah, big shout out to her.
But the Lady Govs, they have a lot of more road trips to go right before they get into conference play. Next time you'll see them, they'll be on the road at Mercer Sunday at 2 p.m. at home. No, I'm sorry. They'll be at home. They'll be at home Sunday.
F&M Bank.
F&M Bank at 2 p.m. on a Sunday. So right after church or whatever you got going on Sundays, come by and support the Lady Govs. But before we talk about the men and we get on out of here for the last episode, we got one more interview with Abby and AJ. So we're going to throw it to them, and then we'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm AJ Crowder here with Janai Knoll. Thank you so much for joining us. She's a grad student and member of the women's basketball team. So let's get started. I'd love to hear about your basketball background and how it brought you to Austin Peay.
Well, for one, thank you for having me, AJ. I started playing basketball at a young age. Just go down to the park, shoot hoops with the guys, literally little boys. I learned a lot of game from them. It wasn't a lot of girls in my neighborhood, so I had to figure out what can I do. And playing basketball, that was it. So ever since then, basketball has been my way of getting out of things. So I love basketball. It's good for me. It keeps me insane. It keeps me sane for sure. But basketball has always been a tool for me.
That's wonderful to hear. And then what was that journey like getting to Austin Peay?
I started off at JUCO level. When I graduated out of high school, I didn't have many offers of going Division I. I started straight out of JUCO, graduated from junior college, and then I went to Chicago State. I graduated from Chicago State, and here I am at Austin Peay.
That's great. And with your injury on your Achilles, how has your injury recovery been, and what have you learned from your healing?
It's been challenging this go around. Last year, I wasn't in the same position. Last year, when I tore my left Achilles, I was sort of in the boot around this time, so I had just had surgery. This go around, this is my weaker leg, so everything is a little slower process. This is the true process, as a lot of people would say. Last year, I felt like I went through stuff quickly, but it was only because this was my stronger leg. But this go around is much slower. Everything is very detailed, so I think it's slowly but surely in a great process.
Well, that's great, and we hope you have a great recovery with
Thank
that.
you, thank you.
So what do you see in this team and how they can win this Sunday against Mercer?
I see a lot of fight in this team. Like, we're figuring each other out. As I'm watching on the sideline, I can see the growth that we've had since summer. Summer, we were still figuring each other out also, but now we're understanding what everybody's capable of, and I think that's a big piece. Mercer is going to be a great team, but so are we. We're a great team too. So all we have to do is stick to our principles and stick to what the game plan is, and it'll be a dub for us, and it'll be a challenge, but it'll be a good challenge that we need.
And how would you describe the biggest challenge for the team?
Really, we're trying to figure out ourselves. I think that's the biggest thing. Every day we're practicing, and sometimes we're in bigger groups, smaller groups. I think we're still trying to get a feel out for each other. So I think once we get that key piece, everything will fall into place how it needs to.
And with team morale, as you're trying to build that team chemistry, how do you feel that morale has been so far?
It's good. I mean, we gel so well off the court, so you would think on the court it'll just come naturally, but surprisingly it doesn't, not right now. And that's okay. We still have a lot of time to figure stuff out. We do have a lot of time, and then at the same time we don't. But by conference, I feel like we'll have it all figured out, everything that we need to be. So each game for conference will roll the way it needs to.
With a long road trip ahead after this game against Mercer, going to UC, Berkeley, all these top schools, what is some games that you're looking forward to going to this season?
For sure, going to Cali, for sure. Even our Florida tournament, I know these are bigger schools. We just have to stick to our principles and play how we know how to play. Don't do nothing out of the ordinary. I think that's important when we playing bigger teams, to stay true to our principles.
And then heading into conference play in later this year and into January, what are some things that you look for in the team?
Really just growing, still growing. Growing is the big thing. We never want to take the back seat of anything. Still growing and understanding these are the similar teams to last year. Not all teams are going to be looking the same, but it's the same identity that they have. So we're looking to do something differently, and that's good for our team. It'll work for this team.
Thank you. And so what are some goals for the team and for years to come?
Get better each day. I think that's the biggest thing. We don't really have a goal that stands out the most, but I feel like if we get better each day, that will take care of the games and practicing to go up a level.
Well, thank you so much for joining me
Thank you
today.
so much for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Abby, AJ, like I said, student athletes, they work basically from August till their season is over. So shout out to them. They've been putting in a lot of hard work getting these jobs or these interviews done and getting the job done on the court or on the field. So shout out to them. But last but not least, man, we got our men's basketball team. They took their first L of the season, 3-1. As of Sunday, they lost to the Tennessee Volunteers, 103-68. Isaac Haney had 22. LJ Thomas had 20. Only players to score double digits. Guys,
Listen, you're playing a top 10 team in the entire country and an SEC team. So you got to realize the talent difference in this game. Yep. We talked about it. If we wanted to keep it close, to make it seem like, okay, we're competitive or whatnot.
No, they got us out the water.
But guys, again, it's an SEC opponent who is top 10 in the nation. So you know, you got to look at it, from a grain of salt, right? It's a team that we didn't expect to beat. I'm more disappointed by the game they dropped last night.
Yeah.
The Moorhead game. I'm a little disappointed with that one.
That was. What you mean?
Moorhead? Can't lose to Moorhead.
Yeah.
Moorhead's at least basketball-wise, they're a lot better than their football team. They've historically had a pretty good basketball team.
Yep. That was a shocking loss. We were up 10 with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And we were up 10, and we just gave the game away. That's ultimately what it was. But I did see a highlight. What they call him, Hansel highlight. What they call him? Highlight Hansel. He literally took it. He took a steal all the way down the court.
I call him Mr. NIL, but that's just me.
I mean, yeah,
I think I did see that. Was that against Tennessee?
No, that was
Moorhead.
that was Moorhead. That was last night.
I saw some. Who was it?
And he got the and one too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought he had a highlight like that against Tennessee too. I could be wrong.
No, he did.
He did. Okay.
I mean, he good for at least 2 highlights a game. He's guaranteed to put us, on the front page of some Twitter website.
I saw him Euro step somebody and just.
Oh yeah, that was against Tennessee.
Yeah,
that was against Tennessee. So, back-to-back losses for our men's basketball team. Not a good look after starting 3-0, but we do go to Jacksonville, Florida, play Georgia State in the Jacksonville Classic. That will start right before Thanksgiving, so next Tuesday. So it'll be on our sports network. So tune in today if you have the chance. We'll be there for about a couple of days, so the guys get to enjoy some Florida weather right before the holidays. But that's going to be all that we have for you guys.
Hey, we still got 6 minutes.
We got 6 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Yeah. Hey, man, you're trying to cut me out early.
My fault. He told me we had a certain amount, so I did.
But I do account for the interview.
Yeah, okay. So, but one thing we didn't do, guys, I just realized. We didn't do the pick'em.
Yeah.
As I just spit everywhere.
Yeah.
We didn't do the pick'em.
Go ahead and say what the updated standings are.
So, guys, right before we get out of here, I tried to jump the gun early. The pick'em, I updated it. I finally got it updated. All the math is correct. So.
Well, not the way it should be, but.
What you mean? Hey.
I'm saying the standings.
Your boy, I'm number 1. My parlay hit for me, and our homecoming show, it hit for me. What I say? I said I had Ramon Copeland anytime touchdown. Check that off the list. Defensive interception. I had just 1. They said, Betty, deal, we're going to get 3 on. Check that off the list.
What is it? Hey, tickle 2 more for you.
Here you go, 2 more for you, brother. And then we scored, that was Tarleton. I had total points over 40. It was 27-17. So what was that, 40?
44.
44. So I hit for everything. So it's a good week for me. So I turned out with 11.5 points to take over first place.
My P pick'em for the homecoming game almost hit. I had Carson Smith, 0.5 field goals made from 30-plus yards. I believe he hit a 50-yarder.
53.
Check. I had Jaden Barnes, 50 yards receiving that game. He doubled it, almost. He had 110.
Yep.
And then I had Austin Smith. I had 40 rushing yards for Austin Smith.
A whopping
and a big whopping score of 7 yards that game. 7 rushing yards. And my parlay did not hit.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you my parlay, and then I'm going to tell you my prediction for the Chattanooga game. I had O'Shawn Allison, 85-plus rush yards. He had 11. I thought he was going to be the main back for that game. Plus, we really didn't run the ball all that well altogether. I had Alec Pell, 35-plus receiving yards. He had 27, so he's close.
Yeah, he was in the ballpark.
And then I had Carson Smith, 3-plus field goals. He only had 1. I thought we were going to hit a lot more field goals, not maybe score as many touchdowns. But so I didn't have any of them hit, which I think if you're a parlay person like me,
it'd be like that.
I'd rather not hit any of them. They get close because, that's kind of the worst feeling in the world.
Oh, it is. It is.
Especially when you're $500 away.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, so we got 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. For the Chattanooga game, my prediction will be officially, as my last pick in
last
time
pick.
history, I can't not pick the Govs in my last one ever. So I'm going to pick the Govs, even though my gut's telling me don't do it.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm picking the Govs.
It ain't my last
it's not your last
episode.
one. Yeah,
it
it's
ain't
not
my
your
last episode.
I'm going to go the Govs.
We just
All right. And by score of 21-17. And maybe, since they're not picking the Govs, maybe find my way to squeak into second.
For me, I think it's going to be a close game. Like all of our recent games have been at home. but I got UTC 28-24.
28-24.
Okay.
Man, I'm going to just go ahead and
So
do
if I
it,
get
man.
points and Austin Peay wins, I got a chance to sneak into second.
And you low-key got a chance to get first, too.
Yeah, because y'all will lose points.
Points, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll lose points. So I'm going to just get it out. I think it's going to be like 35, 20, 30. Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be close.
Nah, I don't think it's going to be close. I think they're going to dog walk us, man. I think it's over with. I think that's just how the season's going. So I think they're going to get it over with early, probably by second, third quarter, and they just going to coast their way through.
Yeah.
So now that's officially all that we have for this episode. Christian, thank you, man.
Shout out to Paige Hearn for all of her hard work, technical directing this. Shout out again to David Ellison, Steve Sawyer.
That's your last one.
For everything that they do to help set this up. Again, this stuff does not happen overnight, so they help set us up. So big shout out to you guys. I've had a blast doing this for the past 2 years. I'm excited to see what happens next semester. I will still watch them. I will still tune in to you guys and see what all happens. Hopefully it's
That's cap.
No, I will. Listen, I enjoy, like I always watch them back because I critique the episode, and then I critique myself, speaking, stuff like that. So, it's going to be exciting. Some of our episodes have done pretty well.
Yep. So, as you guys, Christian is his last sign off. So, we will see you guys next semester in the new year 2025. That's all for this year on Crunch Time. See you guys later.